What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Welcome to the first of many rainy days. All week is supposed to be raining and all crappy, but it is I do have like sweatpants on instead of shorts, so it is a little cool, but not enough for me to be like, oh yeah, I need to put shorts on or whatever, or warm enough to put shorts on. But today it's not going to be Evo stuff, it's not going to be GTR stuff, it is going to be Subaru stuff. This is going to be the first video of what I expect to get done during the weeks ahead here, because I don't know how much time it's going to take me to actually get this done. But today we are going to be working on a Subaru Forester. It is a 2007, but most Subarus they come out the same way. Some of them just have turbos. This one does not have a turbo, but we have issues with this car. And it is one of my buddy's cars, and he asked me to work on it for him. And it does have a head gasket issue, just like most Subarus commonly do have. But this one here, like I said before, it's in really, really good condition. It's got WRX wheels, which I've just now noticed. But it is in really good condition. I don't know what the mileage is. I think 100 and something. I don't know. Maybe let's check. Let's check, because that would be good to know. It is a super clean car, to be honest with you. Nah, you gotta have the key in there. But anyway, it doesn't really matter what the mileage is. The car is a really solid car, except for this head gasket issue. So what we're gonna do in this series, like I said before, in the next week and a half to 2 weeks or so, while this thing is down, this is what all my content will be about. So if you're into that, these how-tos, please stick around for the Subaru stuff, because I will be posting a lot on this car, especially for you guys that don't know how to do it all by yourself. I mean, obviously I have a lift, so I am a little bit out of an advantage as opposed to some of you guys. But I want to show you guys this is going to be like one of my how-tos. Like I don't even know what you even want to call it, but I like doing how-tos for you guys, and most of you guys actually do take it and run with it. So the Subaru community wanted me to do this because I told them that I was. But yeah, here's the first part of the video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the camera up somewhere. We're gonna unplug the battery, and we're gonna start ripping things apart. I think that's really it. I think the first thing you really need to do is to make sure that the battery is unplugged, and then we can put this thing on the lift. We can put it up in the air, get all the oil out, and get all the coolant out. So let's go. Okay, so this is what I've done so far. I've pulled the battery and the battery tie down. I should probably put this out, not like it really matters. And I throw that out to the side by itself. And the next thing I went after was all the intake parts. So this is the mass airflow sensor to the plug to the mass airflow sensor. That plugs in there, and then you just take off all the piping for the intake here. So should be 2 10s, so one here and then one here, and then a sensor that's plugged in here. You can just pull this out, and then the breathers for each of the cylinders, or each of the heads. One over in this corner here. I don't know if you can barely see that here, and then there's a pipe that goes up. So they're not held on by anything crazy, just these little, like, spring clips or whatnot. So nothing too too crazy. So all your intake parts you keep together. So we're gonna keep on going here. I think the only other thing that I've taken off are these grounds here, which it's just like a clip here. So you just put that off to the side, and then on the other side it's the same thing. There's a ground behind the battery here, so you just undo that, put that to the side over there, and then you're pretty much good to go there. I think that's really it for up top so far. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this thing in the air, and we're gonna undo the exhaust and all that stuff, and we're gonna, I think that's it for the bottom. I don't know, I have to look, but yeah, we're just gonna keep on going here, so let's go. All right, people, you're gonna have to excuse me. I'm just trying to get familiarized with this chassis. So, like I said before, there is no. I'm used to working on everything that's turboed. Not like this would be a problem, but I mean, obviously, it is covered in grease down here, like every other Subaru I've ever worked on. But I'm gonna do my best to try to give you the best angles, the best everything that I can actually do, just because. I kind of need to let you know what's going on. But yeah, as it looks right now, there was a shield underneath this car, so it wasn't really that bad. It was 4 bolts and 2 pop clips that were still on here, but most cars might have more, might have less. I'm not exactly sure. It could be anything, but as you can tell here, like, it just has a regular you know, exhaust manifold. So if you look up here, you see that little nipple. It's at the bottom of the radiator there. That is for the drain for the radiator. So we're gonna go after that. I don't know if this is since this is an automatic car, it should have a separate compartment just to cool the transmission fluid. So if that's the case, then I'm gonna have to do something about that as well. So it's really not gonna be that big of a deal. I think what I will do here is I'm gonna try to. I keep moving around here. I'm gonna let the car down, because what I'm gonna do is it'll be easier just for me to actually like pull the whole exhaust manifold out on one piece and just disconnect it at this flange here, this 3-bolt flange, and I'll just get like a new you know, 3-bolt flange there for, you know, a new gasket there. So all the bolts are, since they're covered in oil, should be pretty simple to actually get. And then I can let the car down. I can take the exhaust manifold off after getting the O2 sensor. There's 2 O2 sensors up here. One here, and then one over here. So you just got to chase the wires up, the yellow wires, and just disconnect those from the top. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let the car down, do that, and get the exhaust manifold off, because it'll be easier for me to get the exhaust manifold off now, and then get to all the fluids, because then I won't have that obstruction. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's just get to it. People, so it is we're getting there. So these 3 bolts here, oh, it's not even a gasket, it's like a crush gasket thing. Anyway, so these 3 bolts here, they came out fairly simple. I had to make some kind of extension or whatever to actually fit through here and this and that. So but I got it. And all of these bolts here that came, they actually came with the exhaust manifold studs. So I mean, it is what it is. They'll go up pretty good, so which is all I really care about. So look at that. Wow, missing a belt there. That's not good. I'll tell this guy about this. But all right, so anyway, now that I have some room here, you can clearly see underneath the radiator here. And yeah. All right, as I was rudely interrupted while my battery was dying, we are ready to drain the coolant here, and hopefully it should be a pretty easy ordeal. It looks like this shield here, underneath houses where the what do you want to call that, the automatic trans fluid lines go. So I'm actually just going to crimp these off here with some type of tool so that not a lot of it comes out. So I'm gonna drain everything. Like I said before, the petcock, that's what it's called, petcock, is right here. So it's like a little, like, you know, valve or whatnot. You put a straw or something here, like right here, and then you could unleash all hell whenever you crack this open, and then all the you know, all the fluid from the radiator comes out. Jesus, I don't know what's going on with me today. Anyway, I'm going to do that, and I'm gonna let this camera sit for a second or two while I do that, and then we'll come back when I get that all drained out. All right, people, so done a couple things so far, and I will show you exactly what I've done. So as you can tell, there's no radiator hose there. I pulled the radiator hose off. It was just easier, and I let it drain from the petcock over there, but there wasn't a lot that came out. So I pulled this radiator hose, and it just started flowing. And to make it a lot easier, I went and put the car down and cracked the top of the, you know, radiator. I just took the radiator cap off, and it started flowing more. So I'm actually just waiting for it to actually stop, which it's coming. I mean, even though this is what's coming from the engine here. But the next thing we got to do, I actually unplugged the fans here too, just to make it a little easier. When I was up top, I took there's two 12mm bolts up at the top to keep the radiator down, like, you know, a hole down or whatnot. The reason why I did that is just so I can push this up a little bit. So as you can see, you see that, how that is? This shield here goes up underneath. So it's 1, 2, 3 10mm bolts. And I need to take the shield off because I need to get to the the automatic trans fluid lines, so I can actually drain those as well, so I can get this radiator out. So let me set the camera up and I'll show you exactly what I'm gonna be doing. People, so I accidentally I didn't accidentally do anything. The camera is on record instead of time-lapse, so no big deal. I'll have to edit my music out because I listen to a lot of music while I'm back here. But as you can tell, I had to push up on the radiator to try to get that shield out, and it exposes the you know, the two wires, or the two hoses here for the automatic trans fluid. So instead of taking this off, I don't know if I will or not. Yeah, I think I'll just take it off from here instead of taking this off. So yeah, I don't know. Just give me a second. I'll get these lines off, and yeah, we can keep on moving, and I'll tell you exactly what I did. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I actually just undid the bolts here. So it's 2 bolts, they're 19 mils, and should be pretty easy. You're just gonna have to hold the hose or the line set coming out of the hose so that the hose doesn't turn along with the nut, if you know what I'm saying. And I just throw those off to the side here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna move the car down, and we can take the radiator out, and we can continue to move on from there. Because with the radiator out, what I need to do is I need to take the power steering, move that off to the side, the AC compressor, move that off to the side, and then I think we got a couple more small things to do, but nothing too crazy. And then we can actually look to yank this bad boy out. From the bottom, there are two 14mm bolts underneath for the motor mounts. And I think the only other thing we got to do is disconnect the transmission from the motor, as far as the couple bolts that hold it together. But well, we'll get there when we get there. So let's let the car down, let's pull the radiator out, and let's keep going. All right, people, so I don't know if you guys have been watching, but so what I did was I undid this 12mm bolt right here, and then I zipped this 12 down and pushed the alternator down so I can get this belt off. That's the only tension on this belt is this here for the alternator. On the other side, it's an old school one, but it's all jacked up. This is the remnants of what's left of the belt here, so I will be recommending my friend to get a new belt and a new pulley here, because the pulley is just destroyed. So let's take this off real quick. I'll do that right on camera because it won't take me very long. That's a long bolt. Let's get this here, and then let's get this. Two super long bolts. All right, looking at this tensioner, look at it. It's just flat out destroyed. There's really nothing left to it. But you know what? Ralph is here to help. But this is the last thing on our agenda. Wow, I can barely even get it off. There we go. Wow, it's just completely destroyed. So no biggie. Put that off to the side. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna oh yeah, I think there's Freon in here. Let's test it real quick. Yeah, so there's Freon in there, so I can't exactly take the AC compressor off with the lines, or I can't take the lines off without the compressor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work around it. I'm gonna take the power steering and the AC compressor off and put those off to the side. So everything that's connected to it, these two bolts here, I think are the only ones that are connected to these lines. And then I think there's this whole big bracket. So there's 112 down there, and then there should be 112 you can see here, and then one is hidden. Yeah, one's hidden underneath. I think there's only one. Yeah, there's only one hidden underneath. And then you can take all that stuff off. Honestly, like you can take off this, everything that's up here. So just give a quick look and you can definitely see everything that needs to come off. Because once this bracket comes off, the alternator is only held on by this bolt here. And then the AC compressor, you can get to the bolts. There's one bolt here and one bolt out back, and then one bolt down here, if you can see it. So everything can come off this front here. So I'm gonna do that real quick off camera, move everything to the sides, and just let you know if I see anything that's you know, out of place. So let's keep it moving. All right, ladies and gentlemen, folk, so I have the power steering put over here. It's not going anywhere. What I'm gonna probably do is stay tie it or something like that so that it doesn't move. The alternator I straight up took off and put it underneath here, and the AC compressor, it's not in the best spot. Like, it's all twisted up over here, but it's not going anywhere. So it was on this bracket here, so you got to just take the bracket off. Like, it's 4 12mm bolts. And when it was in the car, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth one in the front. It was 14mm bolts there. So take that bracket off, and you'll be able to move the alternator to the side there. All the power wires they were here. So it's one power wire for the you know, the alternator, positive, and a signal wire for the AC compressor clutch. So all that's moved off to the side here. So we're getting to a spot where like it's looking a lot better, So next thing you got to do is you got to take out all these air hoses. Well, there's one air hose for the brake booster and the fuel line. That's funny, there's no return. Yeah, there's no return fuel line, so that's kind of odd. No, there is a reverse. Is there? Yeah, there is. Anyway, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's just a little crimper here, and the other one up top here. You're gonna need a not a super special tool, but you just need a I think it's 5/16 tool. You can stick it in there, and this thing will slide right off. So you need to get this off for the brake booster, and then you could work your way back here for the all the heater core lines or whatnot. You might as well just take these completely out because they'll get in your way, because then you can get to the starter. The starter is a 12 up top as a negative, then you have the positive back here is it looks like a 14 mil. I don't know if you can see that. It's a 14 mil. Right, no, I'm trying to get a good picture of it. It's right here, and then the signal wire, which I'm just gonna take off right now. Signal wire is up underneath. It's just a clip and it'll come right off. So that's your signal wire. So as soon as you get that, the starter is held in there by two 12 or 14 mils, one right here and one up underneath. You'll be able to feel your hand underneath there. It looks like feels like it's a stud. So which is good. So there should be a nut there. So get all those off and then we'll keep it moving. So I'm sorry everybody that I'm going back and forth here. I don't want it to be a super duper long video. I want to actually have this motor out. So I'm trying to do it as fast as possible without too many cut scenes as far as slow motion or whatever, or fast pacing or whatever. So just work with me. We'll get it out together. So let's keep it going.